Today is March 13th, 2023. What is this, some like action end of the world movie? Why are you being so serious, dude? But it is March 13th, 2023. And last week was Purim. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but it was the Jewish festival where they celebrate the deliverance of the Jews because of Queen Esther, and they read the book of Esther, and it's a Jewish festival. But there's something interesting about the book of Esther you might not have noticed. And I was like, really? When I first heard this? And I went back and read it, and sure enough, it was the case. The book of Esther, which is in the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, the book of Esther doesn't mention God once. Right? You might be like, how could a book in the Bible not mention God? Like, I'm pretty sure Esther talks about God. But go read it. You can tell that God is working in the events that happen in the book of Esther, but they never mention God. They don't say, God told me this, or there isn't a description of God delivering the Jews. It just happens, and you kind of assume that God is working through it all, and the way everything happens, it's clear that it's miraculous, and it is God that's doing everything, but he's not mentioned throughout the whole book of Esther. And as I was thinking about that, and thinking about being a Christian on YouTube, I can tend to have this, or to feel this pressure to always be very explicit about my faith and try and connect everything to the Bible and the gospel, and that's like, it always has to include that. And there are a lot of Christian YouTubers out there, and that's what they do. They're talking about theology and the gospel and preaching, and it's awesome that those things exist. But that pressure to always make everything explicitly about the Bible, about the gospel, I don't think that's necessary. There's a lot of things in life that are important to know about that don't need to be directly connected back to the Bible every time. So if let's say I was doing a tutorial on how to put an engine together. It's like, you just need to know all of this technical knowledge. It doesn't need to be connected back to the Bible. And that doesn't make me not a Christian for not doing that. I'm just teaching you how to do something. And a lot of the topics I want to cover in my videos don't need to be directly connected back to the Bible. Like, I don't need to say it's like, this is Christian fitness, or this is Christian health food knowledge, or it's all these different things that don't need to be labeled Christian in order to give you valuable information and to help you with different parts of life, or just to share my thoughts or what's going on. And so that doesn't mean that the Bible and the gospel and my faith in God doesn't inform everything I talk about. in some ways, everything is related to it because God is the creator of all, and all of his creation points to him. But I don't feel the need to label everything Christian, and I don't want to be under that pressure. But at the same time, if I'm talking about another topic, whatever it is, it's always informed. Like, I want my whole life to be conformed to Christ. Everything about me should be Christian. And if I don't say it explicitly, that doesn't mean that that isn't the case, that my faith isn't informing something I'm doing. My faith informs every decision. And so if I'm talking about food or relationships or fitness or whatever else it is, my medical treatments, I'm doing it as a Christian without having to label it that. I want my character to be reflected in all that I talk about and share with people. And I want my character to display my faith in Christ. And yes, there is a time for preaching the gospel and teaching theology and all of those things. I have a video the other day I posted that's a clear explanation of the gospel. But some of my videos aren't going to include that. And that's okay. Just like the book of Esther doesn't mention God, not even one time. But it's so clear that he's working in the events of the book that it still is included in the Bible, in the Holy Scriptures. It's still clear that it's inspired by God, and it still is useful for teaching us how to have faith and how to follow God and what his will is and all of those things. So that's all I have for today. Peace.